Welcome to Boxing Pedigree TV, where we speak nothing but truth, facts, and professional boxing talk all day, every day. I'm your host, Bance, and let's get into it. Today, we got a very special guest by the name of Coach Russ, the legendary trainer out of Baltimore. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's a pleasure to have you on. You do great work out there with Gervonta Davis and Trunk Simpson and a whole other amounts of fun. Can you just give us a little background on who you are and what you do?
A little background on me. I do a lot of the strength conditioning work with Gervonta Davis and Lorenzo, Trunk Simpson, also Malik and Malik Hawkins. So I do all their training as far as their strength, make sure they are up to par with their conditioning, so they can go the rounds they need to go. Also, their power and their muscle endurance to help them get through tough situations. Also, help with their cutting their weight, getting their weight under control, and those things like that, and along those lines. So I wouldn't call them legendary. I just say I'm just one of those guys that fell in the right situation.
Yeah. Well, that's you being humble, man. But you're doing great work. So you mentioned you work with helping them cut their weight. That's not a simple process. A lot of people, they see these boxers, prior to the weigh-in, and, some of them be 30, 40 pounds up. And then on a weigh-in day, they're down those 40 pounds. Can you explain what that process is like?
Well, the process is a sweet science. You have to watch their intake and balance off their what they're doing in the course of a day, and making sure they're still eating, but also hydrating, but not overhydrating, whereas though the weight's not coming off. So it's definitely a science to it, and it takes some learning. Cause I took some learning getting it down to a science. So when they see those guys step on the scale, trust me, they went through a lot to get those 40 pounds off them. Trust me.
Yeah. And, it's interesting because I know right now Gervonta Davis is preparing to drop down to 130. I believe he's going to fight Leo Santa Cruz.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. I think that's still on. If it happens because of the whole, the whole virus thing, but that is the game plan from what I've been told.
So, Gervonta's been campaigning at 135 for, the last few fights. And, he's a solid 135, or he's not,
No. Well, hold me. Let me be correct. He's a solid 135. He only moved up for Gamboa at 135.
I see.
So he's a solid 130 fighter. He moved up in weight.
Okay. So he's on fight at 135?
Yeah, he's only had one fight at 135, and that's Gamboa. Usually he'd fight at 130, yeah.
Okay. So making weight at 130 is not going to be a problem.
No, it's not going to be a problem. Nah.
Okay, cool. And then he got you to do it, so it's going to
be yeah, I got to stay on his back.
Yeah.
Cool. Me and the other two coaches, we Cal and Ford and Kenny Ellis, we stay on them, and it works as a team. We work well as a team. I think that what helps us go is because, having that support system with those two guys it makes my job easy.
Yeah. And then you have another young fella, Lorenzo Simpson. He's an up and coming star. I watched the kid, a couple fights. He's nice. What's your trajectory on him? Where do you see him going?
With him, man, it's going to be up to him, man. I think that he has no ceiling, really. It's what he makes it, man. If he puts in the work like he's doing now, and he just stay humble and keep working as hard as he worked, that hard work, it's going to pay off for him, man. I see him as a world champion soon, very soon. If he just continue to do what he's doing, man, he's going to be there, man. The kid has a really knowledge of the sport and his talent. A lot of people don't know he can really box, and for this to be a 154 fighter, his speed is ridiculous. Yeah. You don't see speed at 154 like he had.
Yeah. And that 154 division is pretty stacked, but it's almost like the Wild Wild West. I mean, you got Jamel Charlo, and Norio just upset.
Right.
He
So,
got hurt, and then you still got the young fella out there. I really can't say he's young anymore. He's been putting in work. Oh man, it's going to come to me, man. Dark skinned fella with he lost to Jamel. Luke
uh, yeah. He's up. Right. He has a lot of talent too. So that 154 is definitely a weight class where that's grown. I always call it the grown man weight class. Because you got some real punches in the 154 weight class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite in there? I mean, Lorenzo is your guy, so I know you're going to stand behind him 100%. You see him meeting up with to snatch the titles from?
I mean, I think right now I don't know which title he could grab, but I would love to see him in there with the young Charlo at 154. That would be ideal. But I think he needs to get a little bit more experience before he jump out there because he's still young. He's still learning. Even though he has a world of talent and the sky's the limit for him as far as, like I said, I don't think he has no ceiling. He thinks his ceiling is, endless. But I just still he needs the experience. You always need that experience going against a guy who has experience, so with a little bit more, rounds and get his rounds and he'll be there.
Yeah. So the Baltimore area, and it's weird because you got the whole DMV. You have Baltimore, Maryland. You have, the Headbangers Gym. We talked about Coach Barry Hunter out there. And then in Virginia, they're brewing. I just found out last week that the young fella, Shakur Stevenson is out
moving to 130. He's moving up to 130.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That 130 weight class is going to get real thick real soon.
Yeah. What is so special about the Baltimore City fighters?
I think it just the where it comes from is just the upbringing. These fighters just they live the life of having to work hard to get up out their situation. So I think they bring that hard work and that you gotta really fight me to get what you're trying to take from me. So I think they get that attitude and that drive from just their situations they have been in growing up, seeing a lot of things, going through a lot. I think they take that and they channel that into their boxing. So I think you're starting to see these guys like, wow, it's ball. But I think it's always been. I think just now these guys are just having a little bit more edge to them because now that they're getting the proper training and they starting to learn a little bit more. You're starting to see Baltimore, DMV area boxers starting to prosper because they go through a lot. Even you look at the whole DMV area, it's not an easy place to come up in, not especially the inner cities.
Yeah, no doubt. But because they have, OGs like yourself, very level-headed, kind-giving guy, that gives back, man. And a lot of these kids, they need that in Baltimore. Somebody that they can just look at and say, okay, here's some logic, here's some empathy, here's someone that has my best interest at hand. And I look at Gervonta and, you and I talked earlier about, just how important it is for him to have that guidance.
Yeah, definitely. He's a young man. He's a young adult. He's a man now. He has a kid. So he's still growing. And I always talk to Calvin and Kenny about it. There's no handbook on success and when you there and you get it and it's like, okay, how do I make this adjustment? Nobody gave him a handbook. No one told him, oh, you do this, don't do this. So a lot of times we all make mistakes. And we grow from them and we learn from them. So I look at it as a learning experience. And sometimes learning experience teach you what not to do the next time. So, I'm pretty sure he's learned why not to do this next time because, you learn, life is a great way to learn. So it's a teacher. Life is a teacher. It teaches you. Yeah.
It's so wild, growing up, they'll say that. They'll say life, they give you the test first and then the answers later.
Exactly. So yeah,
But
that's
nothing
that's
like
what goes on.
having a cheat code, someone that's been there.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's absolutely right. The cheat code, like me, Calvin, and Kenny, we might tell them something, and they take it, but you know how it is when you growing up, you listening, but you still gotta sometimes learn a little, so you don't get the real full effect of not knowing, but because you had some knowledge, we might have said something to you. When you go down that lane, you see it, and you kind of like, oh, wait a minute, they said this, and you can kind of navigate through that. So I think it do work. I think it do help them learn. I think they go through certain things, but they don't get in too deep into what it is, because they kind of, they can hear us saying, hey, look out for this, look for this. And I think they learn that as they go on.
And boxing is weird, right? Because it's a sport you dedicate so much hard work, dedication, blood and sweat to. And at the end of the day, you're prize fighting. You're fighting to win money. And Gervonta, I'm focusing on him because he's at the pinnacle right now. He's right there with Floyd Mayweather, seeing tons of millions of dollars. Like, you go from, a couple $100 to millions. That's a big transition.
Absolutely a big transition. And to me, man, I'm so proud of him, man. Like, a lot of people don't realize, man, like, when I see him, man, it's like you put in, when you a coach at any level, and you pour into somebody, and then you see them reach their dreams and goals, that's a reward in itself. Seeing them achieve that, man, it's like, all right. And that's what, it puts a big smile on me. It put a big smile on me. It makes me happy. Like, man, he's doing what he dreamed of. And so I use me as I'm a catalyst. I'm basically a catalyst, helping him reach his potential, and as well as the other fighters. And that's how I look at it.
Well, they're blessed to have someone like you in their corner. It's nothing like having someone that organically want the best for you. And given just the climate of things right now, African-American males it's so easy for us to get sidetracked right now and become a target,
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. So, I always commend them that, they could be doing anything else in the world, but you took boxing and you took it serious, and you put your time, like you said, blessed with, and it's paying off. So, hey, stick with it, keep doing, keep pushing, keep pushing for your dreams, and let them, keep fulfilling them. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. And then before I let you go, like, you're being humble. So, just recently you was out of state with another champ putting in some work. Can you tell?
Well, yeah, we took a couple of my other fighters out there, Malik Warren and Malik Hawkins. And I don't even know, I'm pretty sure everybody know who Iceman Hawkins and Malik the King Warren. Went out there and we did like a little mini camp workout with my guy out there in Omaha. I mean, a lot of people know. It was a good experience. I've never been to Omaha.
Yeah.
So going out there to Omaha, man, let me tell you, it's different. But you know what I learned about Terrence, man, going out there? Terrence Crawford is a real down to earth person, approachable. Man, he just, you wouldn't even, if you seen him, the way he just carried himself amongst everybody, you would think he's just an ordinary guy, man. Like, he fits right in. And, my first impression, because just seeing through, like, and never meeting him in person, I thought he was kind of arrogant and all, but come find out, man, he's not at all, man. Not at all.
Yeah. Do you think he struggles with the fact of, he just doesn't get his due credit?
I don't think he struggles with it. I think he knows that he's there. It's just that sometimes in life or in anything, just the market that you're in, you just don't get that recognition. But people who know boxing and know he's getting his recognition. So sometimes for the people who's just a casual person in might not see him as a Hall of Famer, but he is. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, it speaks for itself. So I think a lot of people, like I said, the casual fan of boxing don't recognize it, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I watched the video of they show a lot of the PBC fighters, great fighters on that side, but the interview particularly brought up Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, two great welterweight champions.
Right. I don't think Earl liked Keith Thurman too much. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did a little interview. I could be wrong, but so don't quote me. But that would be a good fight. But I don't think Earl would. If I don't even think that Spence would take that fight because I don't think he liked Thurman too much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. But I think he did an interview, and he said, "I thought it was Earl. I mean, I thought it was Thurman, but hey, some people in boxing and in life, some people just don't like people. Don't know why."
Yeah. I seen that interview too. But I was saying to myself, like, both of them were saying, well, Terrence Crawford, he needs to get some more exposure. He needs to build himself up. And when I was looking at it, I was like, well, Terrence Crawford won a belt at 135. He was undisputed champion at 140.
Yep.
He's the only one knocking fighters out at 157. He won an ESPY award. He was fighter of the year. He's
right.
Foul number one. Like, what are they talking about?
I think because and then I'm gonna refer back. It's like basketball teams. Like you got a team in a big market, say like LA, but then you have a small team in like Omaha, like Oakland. I mean OKC, like down there, or like let's just say Charlotte. So you got a small market team. You're not going to know those players because they're not getting the airtime. So in boxing, because Errol Spence is not Errol Spence, I'm sorry, because you got Terrence in a small market, in a sense, he just doesn't get the recognition he should because he's just not thrown out there as much. But like you discussed, real people that's really involved and people who know a talented fighter and people who really know he's a Hall of Famer, knows that he can, that like you said, he won an ESPY. So all these things are not there by accident. He's really a really, really talented, great fighter. And he's going to get his just due. I mean, because if you get ESPY, come on. I mean, you get your justice.
Yeah. So it's probably just an excuse. They don't.
Right. I'm just going to say the media. Sometimes the media can have their picks and favorites. So, it is what it is.
That's cool. Well, Coach Russ, thanks so much for your time, man. You're really good at what you're doing. And what I like most about you is you're humble and your passion is to see these young kids grow up to be good men and be successful during the process. And I got to give you salutes for that, man. A lot of people get in the game to get rich. They're just not as authentic and genuine as you are. So salutes.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
Yes, sir. All right. All the best, buddy. Thank you.
All right, man. Peace.